This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Marqeta. When it comes to your payments provider, you can't afford to compromise. Marqeta's modern payment solutions flex with your business without the trade-offs. Stable and agile, secure and innovative, scalable and configurable. If they say you can't have it all, don't believe them. Your business demands more. Choose a payments provider that delivers more. Choose Marqeta. Visit marqeta.com/Spotify to learn more.
Welcome to episode 67 of the Inside Job Boards and Recruitment Marketplaces podcast. I am Stephen Rothberg of College Recruiter, one of your co-hosts. Regular viewers will know that we either broadcast live or with just a slight delay of, usually a couple of hours between recording and actually the episode being available. We're recording this episode a little bit early, and it's all Peter's fault. As always is the case, whenever anything is weird or goes bad, it's Peter's fault.
Blame me.
Guilty as charged, right? Peter's going to be flying out to Spain, to Barcelona for the RecBuzz conference, and apparently Wi-Fi on airplanes is just not as reliable as in our offices. So there's that. So Peter?
Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. We're going to actually start out a little different in another way, too. We're going to give you a commercial. We don't do that often, but RecBuzz is wrapping up this week. So we have our Recruitment Marketplaces Annual coming out. And if you're smart enough to grab that little tiny discount code, that says EMP2 24 podcast. You'll get 15% off the report. It's about 110, 120 pages and lots of good stuff and a money back guarantee. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk to Jim Durbin, who is with Respondable. Indeed may or may not be killing organic advertising, meaning free. And we want to talk about that, but we're going to have Jim start by telling us in 15 seconds or so what Respondable is, and then let's spread the rumors about Indeed and break them down and see if true, if not true, etc. Jim.
Yeah, and also a little bit about your background too, because I think that the viewers are going to find that to be really interesting.
In 15 seconds.
Well, We'll do 15 seconds in metric, and that's somehow going to be different.
Right. Basically, I'm a recruiter and a headhunter, and then a marketer. I've been trying to combine recruiting and marketing for some 20 years. So I've had the chance to work in staffing and corporate and RPOs. I've got a chance to play with programmatic advertising and campaigns. And Respondable is basically the culmination of that. It's designed to train TA departments to understand how to get candidates in correctly and not just get them at the top of the funnel, but make sure throughout the process that the right candidates are going to the right places, you're avoiding waste, and you actually know what your numbers are. So it's about training and building this next generation of TA leaders.
Sounds good. So tell us the rumor, and let's talk about, unfortunately, we have not heard back from Indeed. So tell us the rumor, and then let's talk about what it means, what it may mean.
Well, the rumor came out on Chad and Cheese that Indeed was sending letters to agencies saying that organic traffic was going away. And for just people know, organic traffic, all it means is whether or not Indeed charges you. It's free traffic versus sponsored traffic. So the candidate doesn't know that they're organic, but it's just you were getting a certain amount from your job postings that would come in, and it wasn't paid traffic. It just cost you basically cost you nothing. The problem is that we haven't heard the first was who was getting that. So people are very careful to share that information, which agencies were saying it. We've heard it say that it's only staffing agencies in the UK. I've had someone clearly come out and make that statement. But I've also talked to some healthcare companies who said, no, it's coming for us because the agencies working with us healthcare got that same thing. Hey, organic's going away. And I have not really heard, I've asked a couple of people. I haven't really dug much into my Indeed sources because I figured they would tell us rather than bugging them about it. And I've heard 3 different stories from people that are sure. What I haven't seen is any proof. No one's shown me the letters. No one from Indeed has definitively come out and told me specifically. So we're left kind of speculating, well, if it is true, what does that end up meaning for us?
We talk to Indeed a lot, by the way. I don't believe we have gotten any confirmation. I'm not sure we have asked them, we meaning our recruitment writers, have asked them directly about this, but we will ask them for an update again, and they will advise us and everybody when they want to advise us and everybody. Stephen?
Yeah. So Jim, you said there are like 3 different rumors. I think what I've heard is probably the same as what you've heard. But you're the guest. I'd rather have it come from you. What are you hearing as the possibilities with organic traffic perhaps potentially going away?
Well, the big thing is that they're going to be charging for all traffic now. And this actually makes sense if it's occurring, because the whole point of organic traffic was that we saw this happen to staffing job boards in the US in 2016, where they started off getting traffic and now they have to pay for it. So as a staffing firm or as an RPO, the ones that I've worked at, we don't get any organic traffic versus if you're a large employer. So, I mean, that's been the case for us for years. We've had to pay for everything. And sometimes companies get around it. Small businesses can spin it up. So you'd have some people in firms who just start their own little Indeed thing. They get all this free traffic. And then eventually Indeed starts calling and says, hey, it's time for you to start paying. So the question is, maybe it could be that they're cracking down on that. I've heard that that's the case. So no more free start, basically use a staffing firm. You can't do that anymore because it is becoming a problem. But I've also heard that it's specifically to an employer, not agencies, to healthcare employers specifically, that the organic's going away. And I think this is actually a good thing. And if you guys want to get into that, like, why should we be looking at that? And the answer is we've known that Indeed for a long time has tried to force the industry to make changes. And whether or not they have the right character, the right people to do it, we know they're trying to fix some obvious problems in the candidate experience. And the issue that we have is that too many of us in the TA look at a report from our ATS and it's just a blended rate. So we don't actually know the cost, the true cost of any candidate. And we don't know if organic's even helping us because organic's targeted. And just throwing up a job and having people apply is not the same thing as having the right people apply. And I think what you're seeing now is a lot of people are just applying anywhere and everywhere. So most of the stuff coming into your website is turning into it's just wasted time. They're not people that you're actually going to hire. They're just clicking. So I think.
Get ready to turn up the volume on your HR game. I'm Jay Arnold, former musician turned HR leader and host of Backstage Pass, the HR Rockstar. Each episode pulls back the curtain on key HR topics, from leadership lessons and bold career pivots to the latest in HR tech and talent strategies, featuring the rock stars within their industries. If you're ready to shake up the status quo and amplify your impact, this is your all-access pass. You can catch the show on the Work Defined Podcast Network and wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe now, and let's rock the future of work together.
It'll be good to us if they did get rid of it because it forces us to actually know our numbers and our data and begin to figure out why are we letting people apply to jobs that we're not going to give them and they wouldn't take just because they're auto applying everywhere. So I think it's positive in that sense.
Just to be clear, Indeed is the 100-pound, 1,000-pound, 800-pound gorilla in the recruitment marketplace industry. They have tried to make some very significant changes, such as cost per apply, which lasted less than a year and fell flat on its face. And I think most people agree that ultimately is the best way to do it. It's just a question of how you execute on it and when, and making sure that the applications, the applicants are valuable. And they're entitled to give away free traffic or take away free traffic anytime they wish to. I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. My question to you is, Do you think they're handling this properly? Do you think, if in fact they're doing it, do you think they're doing the right thing? I guess you said so.
Well, the impact, I think, is the correct thing, because I do think that we have this addiction to free and cheap. And I think it's terrible for us overall. We're the only people that go out and say we have to do more with less. And I think that's just an operations mindset that doesn't work very well. I think that's just a problem with HR. We're afraid to say why. We've had all of our budgets cut. We've had a lot of layoffs that occurred because we can't go to the C-suite and tell them where our budget is effective. So instead, we're just looking at it as one big number. CEOs don't care about time to fill or internal KPIs. They want to know how what they're spending impacts the bottom line and impacts what's going on with the companies. So I do think it's good in the sense that it does force us to get better. And it's a major thing that I want to push. But again, I wish it's tough. Like I'm going to defend Indeed and attack them at the same time. It's kind of like SEO for Google back in the day. If they told us everything that they did, we would absolutely take advantage of it. So they can't come out and tell you everything you're supposed to do, because then you're rewarding some companies and punishing others. And ultimately, people like me will go through and take more advantage of it, and we'll get ridiculous prices. I mean, I was getting 4 cents clicks. I loved CPC. But at the same time, they have a responsibility, and they do know, and they don't tend to talk to the market very well in terms of these big rollouts. And we don't have budgets that can turn on a dime. So we're already struggling to explain what we're doing. When Indeed lets a rumor like this come out, or if it's true and they're waiting for 5 or 6 days, how am I supposed to change that? This was a complaint for resume sourcing. It was a complaint for CPA. By not telling us we can't plan, and we're writing budgets that are a year ahead. And the correct answer to that from the corporate side is to cut those budgets down, which is exactly what was happening to Indeed and ZipRecruiter and others, where, I mean, Stephen, you were telling me that a lot of the niche boards are actually doing great right now, but the challenge is the big ones are seeing their revenues fall. I think the answer is we're a little tired of the uncertainty, and the easy thing to do is just cut the budget and try to work on your own stuff. So I think they need to get better at communicating so that we can plan better. But I'm not going to cast all the blame on them when clearly we're at fault as well.
Yeah, if these letters actually did go out, and I heard from one employment advertising agency that they got this letter, and like you, Jim, I didn't see it, so I don't know exactly what it said. Context sometimes matters. If it's talking about your clients, and your clients are all healthcare, well, that might not apply to an agency whose clients are all retail. Or maybe it's just the ads purchased through the employment advertising agencies, and maybe not ads purchased directly by the employers, because they might they want, because of the commission that often comes into play there.
That could be it. That actually could be a major part of it. Maybe agencies and programmatic people aren't getting organic traffic anymore.
It's possible.
But people who have an enterprise account are fine.
Yeah. So point of clarification, not to contradict anything, but something that you said that viewers who just sort of don't understand how Indeed's blended traffic has worked, I'll just address this quickly. If you send, say, 1,000 jobs to them and 200 of them are sponsored, Indeed's reporting historically has basically been, here are your 1,000 jobs, here's how much money you spent, and here's the total impact of that. And it can be difficult to impossible, from what I've heard from customers, to differentiate between, okay, we spent $10,000. How much of that was for the 200 postings? How much of that is sort of buried in the 1,000? So it's difficult to know how impactful that spend has been. Are you wasting it? Is your traffic largely coming from the free, the organic? Or is it almost all to the sponsored? It's kind of muddled. So question for you, and I think we have time for one quick answer. My initial thought, and I think a lot of other people shared this, but I'm sure not all, was that this is going to result in a decrease to the CPCs, the cost per click that employers are paying. And as I thought about it more, I think, no, I think it's actually going to result in an increase, because it's going to be more apparent to the employers that when they spend X, they get Y on these postings. It's going to remove that muddled piece. What are your thoughts about the impact of this, Jim, on employers?
I think the market is going to find that CPCs do overall drop. And part of that is because there are going to be more candidates released into the pool. So you're fighting for more candidates. But I think individually, a lot of people are going to see their individual bills go up because it depends. Are you just sending traffic to your career site? Are you, if you're doing applications on Indeed, I think your CPCs will fall and your CPAs will fall. If you're sending traffic, I think they're going to rise significantly because you weren't thinking of it before. And overall, I think the market will have a slight decrease because if you look at it as 3 levels, you're organic, you're sponsored, and then they don't allow you to get every candidate, you're basically increasing the size of your sponsored pool. So that's going to create a slight dip. Overall, we'll see those begin to fall just a little bit if it's true that they got rid of all organic traffic. If it's just individual agencies, I don't think you'll begin to see that, but their reporting certainly will, because now they're not allowed to show blended reporting, which can be as much as 20% of your traffic. So it's, when they say, hey, here's your overall rate, that's the easy thing to remember. So it won't actually go up, but it sure is going to feel like it's going up.
Interesting. That's awesome. Well, we could easily go for like four or 5 more hours on this, but I somehow don't think that any one of us has the energy, and our viewers definitely don't have the patience. You just before we close, for people who want to get more information, go to Jim's LinkedIn. I remember, I think it was late last week, maybe Friday, you posted a really good summary of this, including what you just referenced, that Indeed doesn't allow you to get every candidate. And there was a reference in there to Amazon. And it was like, in like a sentence or two, it was perfect how you explained that. It totally made sense. So Jim, thank you very much. This is awesome. Peter, safe and successful trip to Barcelona. And we will see everybody in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jim.
Good to see y'all.
Cheers.